make sure place here or present inside my WhatsApp chat. Let me put the phone number again. My phone number is 428-8971. So just place here or present inside my WhatsApp chat for me, please. All right. So hopefully everybody had a wonderful day. Did we? Was the day all right?
Not really for me.
Really? What happened, Hastiny?
Like I could barely get on any of my classes today.
You could have barely get in any of your classes today. What happened?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, Wi-Fi. Okay. At least you're to your evening classes. So hopefully that should be some sort of benefit. Okay. Again, make sure that as you enter, please place here or present in my WhatsApp chat. Not in the chat box, but in my WhatsApp chat. Remember that as we go along, if you have any questions for me, do not feel afraid to ask them. If it's something that I'm going through and you don't understand, make sure please let me know. All right. Make sure participate as much as possible because we are in a virtual setting and we're not in a face-to-face class, so I cannot look at your faces and say, oh, okay, this person don't understand, the next person don't understand. So make sure, please let me know if you have any questions. Also, if you have not signed up for your exams, please make sure to do that. Make sure to do that before January 28th. Okay, make sure that is done before January 28th. Okay, because January 28th is the deadline. Okay, so please make sure to do that. Alright, again, as you enter, place here or present inside my WhatsApp chat. Okay, so tonight again, you're gonna need your graph and paper. If you don't have your graph and paper, then please be prepared to draw the graph and paper. Definitely gonna need to use a pencil, pencil or pen. We prefer pencil when doing graphing, because if you make a mistake, then you could easily correct it. So we definitely prefer pencil. And in your exam, do not write the graph. Do not do the graph questions in pen. Okay, do them in pencil. And now I know that when you're dealing with pencil, it's lighter, so it's harder to see. So I understand that. But when you're dealing with graphing, you need to use pencil. All right, just draw it darker, but use pencil when you're graphing. Okay. Okay, so alright, so I think that we could begin. So yesterday we was looking at graphing linear functions. Alright. And someone asked me a question. Mr. Bethel, are you here? Yeah, okay. You asked me a question about the straight line graphs, right? So say we have something like that. That's x equal to, let's say that's x equal to, let's say that's x equal to negative 2. So we know that that's a straight line, but it's a vertical one, okay? And you were commenting and you're saying that that is not of the form y equals mx plus b, right? And you're definitely right. It's not of the form y equals mx plus b. In fact, so we have y equals mx plus b, right? I'm so sorry for that noise in the back there. Please forgive the noise. That's the neighbors doing some, I don't know what he's doing. So please forgive the knocking in the background. Um, so we have this equation y equals mx plus b. Actually, it's actually a function. It's a linear function. So we call this a linear function. I'm not sharing. This can't. You can't be serious. All right. So I gotta start it over all over then.
I
I
thought
thought
you
I
were
was.
talking about what you do last class. I mean,
Yeah, I was sharing. I was writing. Wow. All right. Remember that as you enter, please place your present into my WhatsApp chat. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. So let me go back to the screen. I was writing away already. Okay. So let me answer your question, Mr. Philip, Mr. Bethel. Um, so we have this straight line. It's a vertical line, and it's gonna be of the. It's gonna be. Let's say that this is x equal to say -2, right? This is an equation, right? But it's not of the form y equals mx plus b. All right. In fact, y equals mx plus b is actually a linear function. It's actually a linear function. And what we have here, that vertical straight line graph, this is not a function, all right? And it's definitely not a linear function. And so it's not of the form y equals mx plus b, all right? So that's just to answer your question. No, it is not of that form. Okay.
So that's another way. So that's another form to write a line with.
Yeah, that's just another
So it's
equation
on
for
its
writing.
own.
Yeah, it's on its own. It's on its own. All right. Okay, so all right, so let's begin what we actually have tonight. I'm excited for what we are about to do. So let's move on. So yesterday we looked at graphing linear functions or graphing straight lines using using just the equation itself. Okay. Now today it's gonna be easier, and the reason why I say it's gonna be easier is because um we're actually gonna get help. Okay. So when we did it last night, we just was looking at the equation itself, and we had to use the slope and the y-intercept to figure out how we're gonna graph it, right? That's a pretty neat way, and that is a good way. But tonight we're gonna be looking at how to do it, our um, how to graph our straight lines using the points given, right? That's it's way easier. But it involves some calculations because um, we have the first plot, we have the first fill out the table, right? That's the first part. So complete the table, and then when we finish complete the table, then we're gonna plot out the points on the graph. Plot out the points to graph the line. Okay. All right. So again, this is the same thing like last night, but last night we used the slope and the y-intercept. Tonight we're gonna actually use the grid to help us to graph this function. And I say it is easier because last night, how much points we used to graph the line last night? How much points we used? Just two, right? There was only two points that we used. Tonight, you see how much points we have? One, two, three, four, and five. We have 5 points. So it's gonna be way easier. We're gonna see the line clearer, all right? But we have to know how to fill in these spaces. That's all. We have to know how to fill in these spaces, all right? That's interesting. So let's begin. We're going to begin with this one, number one. So what I want you to do is I want you to, if you have graph paper, do it on a graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, please construct with a ruler and pencil this this um this coordinate plane. Please do that, and then we'll do it together. Okay, and then what I want you to do right after we finish this first one, I want to see this first one. So make sure that you do this first one nice and neat and sensible. I want to see a picture of this one. If only this. I need to see a picture of this one. Okay, so let's begin. So we want to complete this table. That's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna try to complete the table. All right. And then once we finish complete the table, then then we're going to plot out the points. All right, so let's begin. Okay, so here we have this is equation. Is this is this equation, is it a linear function? Would you say that this is a linear function, this equation?
No, sir.
Someone said no. Anyone else? Is it a linear equation?
That's all.
Someone said yes. So is it no or is it yes?
No.
Someone said no.
No.
No, okay, no. So it's not a linear function. Why? Why would you say it's no, it's not a linear function?
Because you gotta solve for X and Y.
Because we gotta solve x and y? No.
Because in a linear equation, y is by itself, like on the opposite side.
Who's speaking?
Dr.
Dior. Dior. You're not usually wrong, but this time is not correct. It's actually still a linear function, right? Because we could make it look like the form y equals mx plus b. Okay. Remember, we're trying to get it to the form y equals mx plus b. Okay. And we could rearrange this equation to get it to look like this, such that y is the subject. We could do that. That's the first thing that we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change our equation so that it looks like a linear equation. So it looks like of the form y equals mx plus b. That's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so let's do that. So we are dealing with a linear equation because it's a graph of a straight line. All right, and so what we're going to do here is we're going to switch this up such that it looks like a linear equation. So 15 equals 2x plus 3y. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the equation around, because if 15 equals 2x plus 3y, then that means 2x plus 3y equals 15. So all I'm going to do is switch it around. So switching it around, we have 2x plus 3y equals 15. All I did was switch it around. That's it. Just switch it around. All right, that's perfectly fine. That's allowable. The next thing I want to do here is I want to send the 2x over. Why am I sending the 2x over? Anyone?
To get Y by itself.
Yeah, because I want y by itself. Okay, let me let someone into the class. So we're trying to solve for y. We're trying to make sure that y is by itself. Okay, so once we send the 2x over, this is going to be equal to 3y equals positive 2x or negative 2x?
Negative.
Negative 2x, because we send in the 2x over, so it becomes negative 2x plus 15. So all we did was send the 2x over. It becomes negative. Okay, so next up, we're going to do what? Divide everything by
3.
divide everything by 3. Very good. And so we have this 3 cancelled with that 3. Okay, leaving us with simply y here. And then we have this entity, which is negative 2 over 3 x is going to be equal to negative 2 over 3 x. What is 15 divided by 3? 5. Very good. So plus 5. Okay, so is it of the form y equals mx plus b?
Yes.
Yes, because we have y equals negative 2 over 3 x plus 5. So it definitely is of the form y equals mx plus b. So again, we have y equals negative 2 over 3 x plus 5. Okay, so that's the first thing that we're going to do in this question. Let me tell you the good. Yeah, no problem. Let me do the good news. The good news is that in your exams, they're gonna give it to you like this. All right. So here we had to change it and fix it. But I've never seen in your exams where they gave it to you like this, but you had to change it up. Okay. Just that for this worksheet, we had to switch it. Okay. They usually just give it to you straight up, and then they'll tell you, okay, fill in the blank and then draw in the graph or something. So they usually just give it to you straight up. You don't have to, fix it. So that's the good news. But here we had to fix it, because we are trying to fill in these boxes, so we had to fix it so that we could get exactly what y is gonna be. All right, give me one moment. Let me allow these persons to join. Okay. Remember, if you're here, then you're just joining. Please place here or present, not in the Google Meets chat, but place it inside the my WhatsApp. So we know what y is clearly. Clearly, we know what y is. What did I do just now? Y'all still can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I feel like I pressed something I shouldn't have pressed. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so we already know what y is. Now we're gonna do something weird, right? We already know what y is. But remember, we're trying to fill out this table. So we not only need to know what y is, we need to know what x is. Okay? So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to make x the subject. Okay? Alright, so the first thing we do, we make y the subject. Then the second thing we do, we make x the subject. And then it'll make sense as we go. It'll make sense as we go. Alright, but those are the two first things that we need to do. Make y the subject first, then make x the subject. Alright, so let's do that. So we have the equation 15 equals to 2x plus 3y. And remember, we're trying to make x the subject, right? What's the first thing that we're going to do? You want to remember what we did last time? The first thing?
Carry over.
Sorry, carry over.
No, let's switch it first. Okay, so let's switch it. So what I mean is, someone is saying something. I heard someone faintly. Okay, so we switching it, so it's going to be 2x plus 3y equals to 15. Okay, now what are we going to send over?
The 3.
The 3y, very good. And so we are left with 2x equals to negative 3y plus 15. And then what we do next?
Divide everything by 2.
Very good. Divide everything by 2 because we're trying to make x the subject. And so we are left with
the 2 cross out each other.
So we just have what? X equals to
Negative
negative 3
Negative 3
over
over 2.
y plus
plus
15 over 2.
2.
Okay. I'm curious. I want to know what is 15 over 2 as a decimal?
7.5.
7.5. Okay, so let's change it to the decimal. So it's going to be x equals to negative 1.5 y plus 7.5. I'm just doing that so it could be easier for calculations. Alright, so we have the two great formulas. We know what x is. Good. And we know what y is. Those are two important things for us. Okay. Sorry. So let me know when I could move that. Someone is asking to join? Give me one moment. Alright.
Mr.
Mr. Yes.
Where you get
Where you get
negative
negative
15 y?
15y? Where I get the
Negative
negative
15y.
15y? No, this is not negative 15. This is negative 1.5.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yes. And this is plus 7.5.
Oh, you turn
Oh,
the
you turn the
fractions into
fractions into
decimals.
decimals? Yeah, I just turned the fractions into decimals. So I just say 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5, and 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. Okay, so we know that x equals to negative 1.5y plus 7.5. That we know. This becomes very important for us. And we also know what y is. Y is equal to negative 2x, negative 2 over 3 x plus 5. Okay.
You go back
You
on the
go back
blue.
on the blue? Okay, let me go back, yeah. So what have we done thus far? All we have done is solved for y
So for
and
y.
solved for x. That's what we've done. And the only reason why we've done that is so that we could complete the table. So let me repeat myself again. All we did was we solved for y and we solved for x. The reason why we did that is so that we could complete the table.
Very good.
We're good. Okay? It just makes it easier to complete the table once we solve explicitly for both y and x. And you'll see what I mean. So here, they said, okay, we give you the value for x. So x is 6. That's what they say here. Okay? So here they say, hey, x is 6. That's what x is. Okay? And so they're saying, given that x is 6, can you please tell me what is the value for y? So which formula will we be using? Will we be using the y formula or will we be using the x formula?
The
The
y.
y.
Why?
Why? The y formula. Why are we going to be using the y formula?
Because you
Because
can
we have to
because
Because
you
we
plot
have to
y.
plot
plot
y.
y.
Yeah, because we have to figure out what y is. Y is the one that's missing, right? They give us x, right? They tell you x is 6. So you need the y equation to figure out what is the missing y value. Okay, so let's keep that. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this. Let me duplicate this. Give me a moment to format this. So I'm going to move all of this. Can I move everything? I want to move all our writings. Okay, can we grab them? Delete that. Okay, so let's insert the two equations that we figured out so that this will be easy for us when we actually doing everything. So remember we solved that y equals what? What we solve?
Negative 2 over 3.
Negative what?
2 over
2 over
3x
2
plus
over
5.
3x plus
X plus
5?
5. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, plus 5. So that's the first thing that we saw.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Why
Why
does
does
y
y
equal
equal
negative
negative
2 over
2
3
over 3
plus
plus
5? I mean
5? I
x
mean
plus
x
5.
plus 5. Okay, because we just solved it. What we did was we took this equation, right? 15 equals 2x plus 3y. We took that
Mm.
and then we rearranged it to make y in the subject. So what we did was we said 15 equals 2x plus 3y. Then what we did was we switched the sides. So we put 15 on this side and we put 2x plus 3y on the other side. Then after we did that, we send the negative 2x over. That gave us negative 2x on this side plus 15. Then we divide both sides by 3 to give us y equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 5. That's how we got that. Okay? So that's where that's coming from.
Okay.
Okay. You understand, Abraham?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
understand.
understand. Okay. So we have that's how we got the y equation. And then the x equation was what? Let me just color this.
X equals 1.5y plus 7.5.
Yeah, so we saw that x equals.
You want us to write that in the graph?
No, don't write it in the graph. Write it somewhere where you have space, just so that you can have it. So it's gonna be 1.5x, right?
Yes, sir.
No, 1.5y
Oh.
plus
Plus 7.5.
plus 7.5. Very good. So we're gonna color that. We're gonna color that green. Okay, so we have these two equations, and remember that our goal here. Remember that our goal here. They give us what x is. They tell you, say x is 6. So since you know that x is 6, what will be the value for y? So what equation will we use? Will we be using the red one or the green one?
The red one.
The red one. Why are we using the red one?
Because we're trying to figure out why.
Very good. Very good, because you're trying to figure out y. We already given the value for x. So you can't use x. They tell you what x is. So now we're trying to find what is missing. So whatever is missing, whatever one is missing, that's the equation that you use. And so we have y equals to negative 2 over 3. Now remember, x equals to 6. Alright? That's what this is saying. X equals 6. So that means we're going to put 6 in for x plus 5. Solving, we get y equals 2. What is negative 2 times 6? What is negative 2 times 6? What is negative 2 times 6?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. Very good. Negative 12. Divided by 3 plus 5. So y equals, what is negative 12 divided by 3?
Negative 4.
Very good. Negative 4 plus 5. What is negative 4 plus 5?
Negative 9.
No, sir.
I mean,
One.
negative 1.
Not negative 1. That's the same thing as 5 minus 4.
That's 1.
1. Yeah. One moment. Let me allow this person to join. I think we still have someone.
There would be a negative 1.
No, it wouldn't be a negative 1.
It can be a negative 1 because 5 is greater than a negative 4.
Yeah. And plus, look at it like, okay, you have $5. You owe someone $4. Pay them back the $4 you owe them. You're left with $1. I feel like this is written so poorly. Give me one moment. Y'all understand this? Negative 4 plus 5 equals to 5 minus 4. Okay, sorry, I just felt that was written. My apologies. But y equals to negative 4 plus 5, and we could easily switch it. So it's 5 minus 4, which is 1. So that means the missing value here is 1. So put that in right there. So 1. So 1 goes in there. Okay. 1 goes in there. Okay. So while we add it, let's just do all the y's. Let's just do all the y's, and then we'll go to the x. Can I move this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, say hold on. Hey.
Moving out.
Okay.
So for
Okay.
the 1,
Go ahead.
so for the 1 we'll have 12 there. You just put y equals negative 2 times 12 plus 5.
Definitely over 3. And we're coming to that right now. So before we do that, let me just explain one more time how we got 1. Remember, we said that we had y is equal to -4 plus 5. Okay, that's what we had. We could switch this around. Okay, because addition is that's the cumulative property for addition. It means that we could switch things around with no problem. So that's gonna be equal to 5 minus 4. And what is 5 minus 4?
1.
1. 1, okay? So that's the way to think about it. Okay? Alright. Let me erase this. So let's do the next one. So we already know that the first value we have is 1. Let's do the next one. We're gonna do the one that's associated with y. So let's do the 12 and then the 18. Okay, so let's keep. So duplicate. Okay, so we are trying to figure out this value here. So which equation would we use? The y equation or the x equation?
Y.
The y equation. Very good, the y equation. And the reason why we would use the y equation is because we're trying to figure out what the value of y is.
What the value is.
Definitely.
Of Y.
Okay. Okay, so that means that here we know that x is what?
12.
X is 12. Very good. So x equals to 12. Okay, so here x is 12. And so using that understanding, we're going to use this equation, this very same one, to figure out what y would be. So if x is 12, what would be the value of y? So it's going to be equal to y equals to negative 2 over 3, 12 plus 5. Okay. Next, we say what is 2 times 12? What is that?
Negative 24.
Negative 24. Very good.
-24.
Very good. So y equals to negative 24
Isaac.
divided by 3. Yeah.
So why we don't also do 12 times 3?
No, because okay, very good question. All right, let me explain to you why. Because what this really is saying is negative 2 over 3 multiplied by 12 over 1. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
this is negative 2 times 12, which is negative 24, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have negative 24 divided by 3 plus 5. Okay, what is negative 24 divided by 3?
8.
Negative 8.
Negative 8 plus 5. Now, what is negative 8 plus 5?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Very good. Now, some persons may be wondering how we got the negative 3. Well, the reason is, give me one moment, is if we have
I know
negative
the
8,
reason.
right? Someone mic is on. Please keep your mic off if you're not speaking. So we have negative 8. Negative 8 means that we owe $8. And we have positive 5. That means that we have $5. So pay them back the $5 that you owe them. Sorry. Yeah, pay them back the $5 that you owe them, but you only have $5. So how much you still owe them? You still owe them $3. Okay. And so negative 8 plus 5 is equal to negative 3. And so the y value that is associated there is negative 3. Okay, now on your own, do 18. on your own. Oh, give me one moment. I feel like, oh my. Alright, very sorry for holding you all up, who were in the waiting room. Remember that as you are joining, make sure please place here or present, send it to my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is given in the chat. Okay? Hey Lionel.
Can you go back on the bliss?
Yeah, no problem. What time it is? 6:35. Let me just check the attendance. 6:35. That's I was trying to figure who is Chia A. Who is that? What's the name? What's the name? Roche Neely?
Yes, sister.
Okay, no problem. I was trying to figure out who is that. Alright. Okay, so we're good. Alright, so next up,
I have an answer.
you have an answer already? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I will be. Give me one moment. Let me duplicate it first. Oh, you say. Oh, he needs still need me to go back here. Let me give you all the opportunity to write it down. Anyone did 18 yet? If you did 18, let me know what your answer is.
Yes, so
What's your answer?
y equals -7.
-7. Who is that? That's Nixon speaking.
Yes.
Negative
Yes,
7.
so
Okay, -7.
-7.
7 or -7? Which one is it?
negative
-7.
-7.
-7. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
uh, boy, Dior, you're a show off. She graphed the whole thing. Very good. Oh wow. I guess I'm going too slow. Very good. Okay. Um. So they say they got -7. Let's see. So keep. So let's do this. So which equation we're gonna use? The y equation. Now we're trying to figure out for the 18. Are we gonna use the y equation or the x equation?
Why?
The y equation. Very good.
My equation.
Because we're trying to figure out the value of y, and that's what's missing. Oh, that's we forget. This is -3 here. Okay, so we have 18 here. We're trying to figure out the value of this missing one, and so we're going to use this equation. So we have y equals to -2/3. Instead of putting x, we're going to put what?
Rocket 18.
Very good. Plus what? 5.
5
Very good. And so we have -2 times what?
times 18.
Very good. Now the question is, what is -2 times 18? What is that?
-36.
-36. Very good.
-30.
-36.
That's 5.
Divided by what?
3
3 plus 5.
Plus 5.
plus 5.
Now what is -36 divided by 3?
-12.
-12.
-12. Very good. Plus 5.
Plus
What is
7.
-12 plus 5?
-7.
-7.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's correct. -7. And so the answer is definitely -7. Okay, good.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You see the first row, y equals -2/3 times 18 plus y.
Yeah.
I don't have to write that like that, right?
How you
Like I
writing
can,
it?
like if I want to write it like with one overall line, but separating them.
With one line like so?
Yeah, like with 18/1 and plus 5/1.
No, no, don't do that. No. It's not one fraction. Okay, don't do one line. You could do You could do this, but you can't connect the fractions because they have different denominators. So you can't connect them.
All right.
Alright, so now that we know what are all of the y values, now we have to figure out what is these missing x values there, right? And so we're going to use the x equation to help us figure that out. And so let's do this. Any questions thus far? Am I losing anyone? Let me know, please.
Okay.
You good? Please let me know. Alright. Alright. Okay, so like we said, we already know that this is -3. We already know that this is -7. Now we're trying to figure out what is this missing value here. Which one of the equations are we going to use? Are we going to use the red equation or the green?
Green.
Green equation.
Definitely the green. Because we're trying to figure out what is the
Missing
value
value of
of.
Value of X.
Very good. Very good. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to say x equals to 1.5. And what is the value of y in this case?
-1.
Very
-1.
good. Y equals to -1. And so this is going to be open bracket -1 plus
7.5.
7.5. And so x is going to be equal to, what is 1.5 times -1?
-1.
Yeah, just -1.5. Because you're multiplying by 1 basically. And 1 times any number is itself. But since this is -1, you just attach the negative there. So it's -1.5 plus 7.5. And so x is going to be equal to, we could switch it. So 7.5 minus 1.5 is going to be equal to what?
6.
6. Very good. So the x value associated with a y value of -1 is indeed 6. Okay, so this is 6. Now let me tell you the good news. The good news is that in your exams, they usually just ask for the y value. Okay, they don't ask you to do the x and the y value. This one is a little bit on the advanced level. I mean, not too advanced, right? But they don't usually ask us to do the x and the y. They usually just ask us for the y value. So that's a good thing. So more than likely you won't face anything like this on your exam, because they don't usually ask for the x. But you have to know how to solve for the y. Now I say usually because we never know what they're gonna bring exactly, right? You know, they might pull a fast one on us and let us figure out the x and the y, because based on the curriculum they could, right? But in past experiences they usually just be easy on us and just ask us for the y values. But it's good to know both. Okay. All right. And last but by no means least is this one. Okay. And so anyone got any answers for that one yet?
Yes, sir.
15.
Yes,
Someone
sir.
said 15.
For which one exactly you mean the right
This
one?
one. This one right there.
Oh, I got 0.
What, 0?
I got 0.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
0,
Zero as well.
0. So who
Yes,
got
sir.
15? Someone said 15. I heard, I definitely heard 15. Anyway. Alright. Okay, so can I move this? Okay.
No, I still working.
Who's that? Who's that speaking? And then they go quiet. You don't have to be quiet.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is McDonald.
Okay, Mark. Okay. Okay, so we have to figure out what is this missing value. This one, this is our last one, is missing x value. And we're going to use this y value right here to figure it out. So hopefully you could see, right, that these are connected. So the 6 and the 1 is connected. The 6 and the negative 1 is connected. The 12 and the negative 3 is connected. This one, we don't know what it is yet, but they are connected. And 18 and negative 7 are connected. In fact, these are actually coordinates, okay? So this is the coordinate 6, 1. This is the coordinate 6, negative 1. This is the coordinate 12, and negative 3. This is the coordinate 18, negative 7. And these are actually points, okay? They're actually points, little points that we could plot, right? It's amazing how, we just could represent the table, and they could show us our points, okay? So
I have a
everything
quick
have a meaning.
question.
Go ahead.
Can you go back to the slide? Like, yeah, okay. So you see as a 1.5 plus 7.5, and then you get to 7.5 minus, like I missed that part, minus 1.5.
Okay, all I did was switch it. Remember that addition is commutative. So that means that, okay, for example, 1 plus 2 is what?
3.
Okay, 2 plus 1,
That's 3.
still 3, right? So it doesn't matter if we switch it, okay? So it's the same thing here. Negative 1.5 plus 7.5 is the same thing as 7.5 minus 1.5, right? It's the
Okay, so
same
it's
thing.
something you have to do in the exam.
Or you just put in your calculator. So you don't have to switch it. You just could say negative 1.5 plus 7.5, and it'll give you 6, right? But if you're not using a calculator and you just want to, understand what you're doing, then you could do it my way, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good question. All right, so we have to figure out what this missing value of x is.
Zero.
Okay, so someone said 0. Okay, so again, the top one was 6 here. This one was negative 3. And this one was negative 7. And we're trying to figure out what is this missing value. Let me allow this person to come in. I honestly thought I heard something. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. There it is. Good. Alright, so let's go. So which equation are we gonna use? Are we gonna use the red equation or the green equation?
The green.
The green, definitely. And the reason why we're gonna use the green is because we're trying to figure out what is this missing value. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to it. So it's gonna be equal to, so we have, let's use, someone mic is on. Please, if you're not speaking, do not turn your mic on. So x is equal to 1.5. Remember here, the value of y is what?
Negative 5.
Negative 5, very good. And it's gonna be plus 7.5. Okay, good. So now we have x is equal to, what is 1.5 times negative 5? Say it again.
7.5.
7.5.
7.5 or negative
Negative
7.5?
7.5.
Oh, negative
Yeah,
7.5.
negative 7. Very good. Negative 7.5. Just put it in your calculator and you get easy get that. Negative 7.5. Oh, okay. I see where you get the 0 from. And then plus 7.5. Let me put that in green. So we have negative 7.5 and then we have plus 7.5. So if you have a negative 7.5 plus 7.5, what is your value of what? What is the value of x?
0.
0. Because you owe 7.5 and $7.50 and you have $7.50. Give them back the money you owe them and then you have $0 left. Alright, so that's it. Look at that. We actually finished the table. After how much? After 50 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. Alright, so we finally finished the table. I honestly thought we could have done all these questions tonight. I mean, we can, we can. Only if, we go till, any suggestions, anyone? Only if we extend meeting time until like 4 a.m.
So 1 o'clock.
or 1 o'clock.
I
So,
don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
4
alright,
a.m. fine with me. I don't mind staying up.
awesome. I love it. Destiny. Okay, so so we have our numbers. So let's plot it. So hopefully everyone understand how we got these numbers. Is it clear? Everyone is clear on how we filled out the box.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So these y and x equations are very important. We had to figure that out first before we could have actually do anything. So let me move everything here. Okay, so from current slide, we must send the 0 away. The 0. Okay, so now this is the easy part. See, Mr. Petit, why is this the easy part? Because all we need to do is plot out now, right? Plot out the points. And like I said, this is easier than yesterday because here we have how much points we are given 1 point, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. So the first point that we're gonna plot out is the
So
point
for an exam, we have the number just like this.
number just. Oh no. They only number it like this because of how the because of how the because of how the the line is gonna be, and they wanted to get everything in. Because you see, we go all the way into 18, so they wanted to get everything in.
All right.
On the exam, you label it like how we did yesterday. Remember yesterday we did it right the regular way, right? Remember?
All right.
So
Okay.
you do it like that, yeah. They only did that so that everything could fit. So the first point that we have is the point 6, 1. So that means that we have 6 on the x and 1 on the y. So again, 6 on the x. So the first thing we do is go 6 on the x and then go 1 on the y. So that's the point right there. Okay. Again, 6 on the x and then 1 on the y. Okay. So let's plot that point out. Let's use what color to use? Let me use green. So it's gonna be this point. Right? Pretty straightforward. Not but that. Alright, the next point. Yes, mom.
So, oh, never mind.
Okay. Okay, so the next point we're gonna plot out is 6 and -1. Someone is probably asking to join, you know. Okay. Okay, so, oh, let me check the attendance. This is a good time to check it. Okay. Alright. I'm actually proud of you all, you know. This is day 2 and most persons are here. So that's good. Oh my, sorry. Okay. Okay. So we have 6 and -1. So what we do is we go on the x-axis for 6. And then on the y-axis we go -1. So again, x-axis 6, y-axis -1. Why does it feel wrong?
Mr. Petit, how did you get 6 for X?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Because I got 9.
Okay, so let's see. Where did we go wrong? -1. Boom. Does that? Yeah, we got 6.
Isn't it supposed to be negative 1.5 in the first line?
So this positive 6 is not right? Let's see. So we got, so everything is right.
It have
So that's
negative
correct.
1.5y. And you
Yeah, we
forget
have
to
negative.
put the.
Ah, so then it'll be, so it'll be a negative and a negative give us a positive. Okay, I see the problem. Okay, very good observation. This is actually supposed to be a negative 1.5 because according to the equation, it's actually, let's go back. It's actually a negative. Oh, I see what I did wrong. It's a negative. Okay, so it's supposed to be a negative 1.5, and then when we did it, we didn't include the negative, so that really threw us off. But okay, so correction, negative 1.5 and negative 1.5 and 1. So negative 1.5 and 1. So multiply that. That'll be positive 1.5 because a negative and a negative is a positive. So again, negative 1.5 and -1 is positive 1.5, and if we switch it, this will be positive 1.5 still, and 7.5 and 1.5 is actually 9. So it's supposed to be 9 and not 6. My apologies. So it's supposed to be 9 and not 6.
1 with 0 would actually be 15.
Yeah. So it's gonna be 9. So please make that correction. It's gonna be 9.
I got
And then
those answers the first time, but I thought it was wrong.
oh, you thought this wrong. Oh, that's my bad. I didn't put the negative, so that's the problem. Okay. Okay. Next up, so this is gonna be negative
So
1.
0 1 wrong too, right?
Yeah, the 0 one wrong. So it's negative 1.5 minus 5. I mean, negative 1.5 times negative 5. That's going to be what? Positive 7.5. And so this is gonna be what?
Wait,
15.
excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Wait, you said the 1.5 times -5 give you a positive 7.5.
Yeah.
So if you multiply, it's always positive.
Yeah, so a negative times a negative is always a positive. So a negative times a
Negative
negative.
times negative is always positive. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be 15. So be careful. So this here is 9 and this here is 15. Okay, so let's clear this up and let's do it again. So again, let's do this. So this is supposed to be discarded. So let's do it right. So this is going to be 9 and 1. It's going to be 15. Okay. And the negative 3 remains the same. That's good. And negative 7 is good. So this is how this is the correct completed table. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Alright, so we have 6 and 1. So 6 and 1, we already saw how to plot that. So 6 and 1. Remember, the 6 is for the x-axis and the 1 is for the y-axis. So it's going to be 6 and 1. So it's going to be right there. 6 and 1.
So on the graph, you don't have to label it, oh no.
You don't have to label it. That's fine. You don't have to label it 6 1. I'll take up a lot of space and stuff. Then we have 9 and negative 1. Okay, 9 and negative 1. So it's going to be 9 and negative 1. So that's right there. So remember 9 on the x-axis and negative 1 on the y-axis. I know I heard someone asking to join.
He's supposed to draw in the straight line afterwards.
Yeah. Then we have here, we have 12 and negative 3. 12 and negative 3. So this is 12 and this is negative 3. And then we have 15 and negative 5. So that's going to be the point 15 and negative 5. So 15 and negative 5. So we go 15 on the x-axis, 15 on the x-axis, negative 5 on the y-axis right there. Okay. Alright. And last but by no means least is 18 and negative 7. So 18 and negative 7. It's going to be 18 and all the way down is negative 7. Okay, so now we're going to plot a line, a straight line that runs through all of these points. Okay, and that will be the line, the linear equation for this graph. So let's plot it. And I want to see the images for this. So once you're done, please send it in to me, please, along with the table. So please send me the table along with the graph once you finish.
So if you don't get a straight line, you know you do something wrong then.
Yeah, you know you do something wrong. It's supposed to be a straight line. That's how I knew automatically that something was weird would be hard, because we wasn't getting a linear function. And so I was wondering, I said, okay, what did we do wrong? So it must be a linear function. So drawing this, let's weight it out, give it some weight. And so this is our equation right here. This is our line. And let's label our line. Like so. Okay, so there you have it. That's what we spent the last hour trying to figure out a line. Trying to graph this line out. Okay. So send it in for me, please. Alright, and I wanna see the line coming through it. So please draw in the line coming through it.
Mr. Petrie, why did you put which equation are we actually labeling the line with?
Label it with the y equals mx plus v1. Now, mind you, you could label it with this too, right? But the slope intercept form is the one I prefer. Okay. This one, yeah, we don't want to use this one. We don't for this one. This one doesn't explicitly tell us what y is, so we want to use one that tells us exactly what y is. All right. I only seen a few persons sending tonight. What happened to the rest of us? Very good,
I
Miss
don't have a
Rami.
pen right now.
Say it again.
I don't have a pen right now.
You don't have a pen? How you could be in whole class and don't have a pen, Abraham? Come on, Abraham. Find a pen in the house. Some.
Okay, I could try.
All right. All right, let's go. Thank you, Miss Penniman. Thank you, Miss Cooper. Very nice. Thank you, Miss
Excuse me.
Julia Raming. Yes.
What if I try to write it in my Samsung notes and then put it on my phone and then put it on my book later if I find a pen?
Sure, do that. All right. Thank you, Miss McDonald. Thank you, Miss McDonald. And Ariana Scron, thank you so much. Ricardo, thank you. Very good, Ricardo. Very good line. Just label the line. Okay, so shall I do a next one?
Yes, please.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Someone said
Please.
no.
You want us to do an next one,
No,
Please.
sir.
Yes,
No,
please.
sir.
Say it good.
Say
You
very
want us to
good.
do one?
All right, so
Okay.
let's do. We have to do. Let me tell you something. I actually was planning on doing this whole paper tonight. But apparently we only did one question. That took us an hour. I didn't realize it was gonna take us so long. But we have to do a next one. We certainly have to. Let's do number two. No, not number two. Let's do number three. I think number three is not too far of a jump for us. So let's do number three. You could do it on your own and send me the picture, but I'll do it step by step with the other students. All right. So let's do number three. Again, like I said, if you know what to do and you don't need me to walk you through it, well, go right ahead. But for the rest of us, who don't know what to do, and you need me to guide you through the process, that's no problem. But we have some brainiacs in there like Nancy, right, Nancy? Nancy, you gone quiet on me.
Pardon me. Yes, I'm here. Did you call me?
Yeah, I say we have some brainiacs in there like you who don't need my help. So,
Really?
but if this is your first, if you're new to the subject, then you could wait on me. If not, you could go right ahead. All right. So the first thing that we're gonna do, can anyone tell me the first thing we're gonna do for this?
Make it y equals mx plus b.
Very good. We need to figure out what y is, and then what's the next thing we're gonna do? Figure out not only what y is, but with what?
X's.
What x is. Very good. So the first step is figuring out what is y, and then what is x. And the reason why that's important is because, like we saw the last time, if we figure what the equations is, it becomes easy to substitute, and we know exactly what we're doing. Okay, so that's the first thing. All right. So that's the first thing. So we need to first solve for y and then solve for x. So we're gonna get this equation. Okay. And so we have 5x plus 5y is equal to negative 15. We want to make sure that y is by itself. So we need to send 5x over. Okay. So it's going to be equal to 5y equals to negative 5x or positive 5x?
Negative.
Negative 5x. Why?
Because you carrying a positive over.
Very good, because we sent a positive over the equal sign. Okay. And once you send the positive over the equal sign, that becomes a negative. So it's going to be negative 5x plus, oh, not plus, sorry, minus 15. Minus 15. Okay. Next, we want to divide both sides by what?
5.
By 5. Very good. To get rid of that 5 in front of the y, so we divide everything by 5.
Let me start right now. I said we're on the graph.
What? 5 divided by 5 is y. I mean, 5 divided by 5 is 1, but then we're left with 5. We're left with y. Okay?
Y.
And then it's going to be equal to, well, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then we're left with x. And what is 15 divided by 5?
3.
3. So y equals x minus 3. Okay, pretty simple. So we know what y is. So that's important. So we know what y is. Okay, that's our first equation. Next, we need to figure out what...
Does that x also represent a 1?
Remember, we don't... Yeah, the x don't represent 1. The coefficient in front of x is 1. Okay.
Excuse me,
So,
Mr. Pete, I have a question.
go ahead.
Where you have 5y equals negative 5x minus 15. When we turn it into a fraction, does 5x still remain negative?
Yes, it does. Why didn't I keep
Because
the
I see
negative?
it is in the...
Yeah, that's my bad. It does. Okay. So the question is, why do we divide by 5 here? Can someone tell me why do we divide by 5?
Do you want to isolate
So we could
the...
get rid of it.
Yeah, because we want to get rid of this 5 here. So if it was 6y, we would divide by what?
6.
we would divide by 6. If it was 7y, we would divide by
7.
7. Okay, so that's why we divide everything by 5, because we're trying to get rid of this y on top. I mean this 5 on top. So 5 is on top. It's connected to y by multiplication. We want to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So 5 divided by 5. So we do that. And then 5 divided by, this is actually negative 5. So negative 5 divided by 5, those two cancels. 15 divided by 5, that's 3. So these cancel. So we're left with negative x minus 3. So y equals negative x minus 3. Okay? Any questions before we move on to solving for x?
We leave the day on this one right now.
Take a screenshot, my dear. You have to move. Yeah, send me a picture, Lionel, of the first one. Okay. I'm still seeing in person's notes that they still have the from the last time. Remember, we corrected the fact that this was not 6. This is 9. So make sure I make that correction. I'm still seeing 6, and this is not 0. This is supposed to be 15. Please make that correction. Okay. Make the correction that we did. Okay, so we already know what y is. Oh, sorry. Y is equal to negative x minus 3. So now we need to figure out what x is. So we're going to use the same equation, but this time we're going to solve for x. So let's move all of this. Boom. And good. So let's write it down. Remember here, we're trying to make x the subject. So 5x plus 5y is negative 15. Okay. Alright. Just making sure. Okay, good. Okay, good. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do, remember we're trying to make x the subject. So what we're going to send over?
Send over 5x. No, 5y.
No,
5y.
5y.
Definitely. When we send over 5y, what does that become?
Negative.
Negative, definitely. So it's going to be 5x equals to negative 5y minus 15. Minus 15, sorry. Okay, now what we do is we divide everything by 5. So there's going to be 5x. Remember, we divide by 5 because we were trying to get rid of this 5 out front. So we're going to divide everything by 5. Okay, going to be equal to negative 5y minus 15. Remember, we divide everything by 5. Divide everything by 5. And so this 5 and this 5 is going to cancel, leaving us with simply x equals to, again, this 5 and this 5 is going to cancel, leaving us with negative y. And what is 15 divided by 5?
3.
Negative 3. Good.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Why do you always use 15?
Okay, the reason why we use 15 is because in the question we're given 15. Okay, and so we have 5x plus 5y equals to negative 15. So we just keep in 15 here. Okay, we just keep in 15 here. All right,
Okay.
that's all. All right, just keeping it. All right. All right. Okay. So I think we're good. All right. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to. So we have our x equation. We have our y equation. That's it. So let's make that very clear. So our y equation
Could you spell
is
the y equation a little bit longer, please?
the x equation. Okay. The x or the y?
The y.
The y. Okay. Okay. So
And they came out to the exact same thing. Just one is X and one is Y.
yeah, I noticed that. There's a switcheroo. Okay. So y equals to negative x minus 3. So that's our y equation. We're going to denote that in red. And then our x equation was, like we saw here, x equals to negative y minus 3. So x equals to negative y minus 3. We're going to put that in green. Okay, good. And so now we're ready to go. So now we're going to first use our y equation, and then we're going to use our x equations. Okay, good. All right, so we're trying to figure out what is this missing y value here. Okay, so which equation are we gonna use, the red or the green?
Great. I mean, red.
The red.
Red.
Okay, and so that means that we have y equals to negative, what is our x value?
-6.
Negative 6, very good. And so we have y equals to negative 6 minus 3. So y equals to negative 6 minus 3. What is negative 6 minus 3?
3.
Mm-mm.
-9.
Negative 9. Negative 9. The reason why is because if you owe 7 and you owe 3, altogether you owe 9.
9.
You owe 9. That's negative 9.
So x is nothing.
X is 6. X is negative 6. We saw that here. X is negative 6. And the associated y value is negative 9. Okay. All right. Any questions for that before we move on to the other one? Any questions? No? All right.
Why you have it in a bracket?
I have it in the bracket. That's by that's to indicate that we're substituting it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my. It's supposed to be negative 6.
When negative
Why do
9
we?
is on your own graph.
They're supposed to be. My apologies. We did this wrong. Let's do it over. I'm sorry. And that's for the very same reason we use this the brackets, and I didn't even use it again. My apologies. Okay, so here we know that x is negative 6. And so we have y equals to negative, open bracket, negative 6 minus 3. And so y is equal to, we know that a negative and a negative multiplied by each other gives us a positive. So this is plus 6 minus 3. So y is equal to 3. My apologies there. So that's why we use the bracket, Floyd, so that we can know and recognize that we have a negative multiplied by a negative. Okay, we only use the bracket to show that we're substituting the value. Okay. All right, so we have negative 6 and Dior.
Yes, sir.
Very good work. Okay, keep it up. All right, so we have negative 6, and once we substitute that
You
in,
want the
negative and,
importance of those?
I mean, if you're ahead of me, yeah, if you're ahead of me. And so this is going to be a negative times a negative is a positive 6. 6 minus 3 is 3, so that's definitely 3. Okay, good. So next up is this negative 2 over here. Okay, so we know that the first value was 3. And so let's move on. So again, we know that the first value here was 3. Next up, we have the negative 2. Which equation are we going to use? The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The first one, because we're trying to find the value of y. If you're done, if you finish graphing it and everything, you can send the photo to me. That'll be good. Okay, so we have y equals to negative, open bracket. Notice that x is equal to negative 2, right?
Negative 2.
So negative 2 minus 3. So y equals to a negative times a negative is a
Positive.
positive. Very good. So it's going to be positive 2 minus 3. So y is equal to, what is positive 2 minus 3?
Negative 1.
-1.
Negative 1. Negative 1.
How would be -1?
It'll be negative 1 because you owe $3. You have $2. Pay them back there $2. You still owe them a dollar.
Alright.
You understand, Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be negative 1. Okay, so y is equal to negative 1. And then we're going to do this last one for y. Just let me know when you're ready for me to move it. Okay, let me know when I can move it, please.
Share the joke, man.
Oh, y'all could see me. Y'all could see my face.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. I need to turn this camera off. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but it was funny. I can't share it. Ah. Alright. So, moving right along. Okay, so we're done with that one. So, let me move this. So, again, we have we have 3, and we have a -1. And so we need to figure out what 2 is. So here, what equation are we going to use?
The one at the
The
top.
y.
That's in red.
Definitely. Why do we use this one?
We're trying to
Because
find
we're
the
trying to find
We're
what the
trying to
value
find
is.
Definitely trying to find the value of y. So this is going to be equal to y
Y
equals
is equal to
negative
open bracket 2
open bracket 2
2
minus
minus 3. Good. So that means that y is equal to negative 2
-2
minus
minus
3.
3.
minus
So y is equal to, what is
negative
negative 2?
5.
Negative 5, yeah. Negative 5. Okay, so we have negative 5 here. Okay, so, alright. So moving right along. We need to figure out what is the missing value for x here. What's the missing value for x here? Let me know when I could move it. Thank you, Miss Pennerman.
What do you call the thing where you keep on doing like the negative and the positives?
We call them directed numbers. You mean the topic, right?
Yeah, the topic.
Yeah,
Maybe we
directed
can brush up
numbers.
on that.
Yeah. Just type in directed numbers on Google. Or adding negative odd numbers. But I mean, for BGCSE candidates, that shouldn't be a problem because you have your calculator. So if you don't remember, use a calculator.
They call them integers too.
Integers, yeah. Adding or subtracting integers, yeah. Okay, so, but for my BJC students, I'm most afraid because you have to use intuition. You have to know it because you can't use a calculator. So you have to have an O. But they don't really test that heavy in the BJC like that. They don't really play with that too much. Not a lot. They usually keep it nice and whole and positive. All right. Thank you, Miss Raming. Miss Julia Raming. Thank you so much. Very good. Okay, so moving right along. So, okay. So we're going to work on the x values now. So from the previous slide, we know that -6 was 3. Sorry. We know that -6 was associated with 3. We know that -2 was associated with -1. We know that 2 was associated with -5. So next up, we need to figure out what this one is now. Now, which equation are we going to use for this one? We're trying to figure out the x value. So what equation will we use?
The green.
The green one. Very good. We'll use the green one. Okay, we use the green one because we're trying to figure out what is the value for x. So it's going to be x equals to -y minus 3. Okay, so we know that the value of y here is 1. So y equals to 1. So x is going to be equal to -1 minus 3. So x equals to -1 minus 3. So x equals to -4. Because if you owe $1 and you owe $3, you owe altogether $4. So where the value for x is 4, negative 4. Yes, ma'am.
On the graph, then numbers on a y-axis coming out like you said about negative numbers or
You mean these?
yes sir.
Yes, they're definitely negative. Going down is always negative, and going to the left is always negative. Okay, so next up we have, sorry, so we have to determine what is this one. Okay, so let's move on. So it's the last one before we actually graph everything. So negative 6 is 3. This is negative 4. This is negative 1. This is negative 5. And we're trying to figure out what this is. So now watch this. Which equation will we use? Will we use the first one or the second one?
Second one.
The second one, definitely. Why the second one?
I'm trying to find the value for x.
Because we're trying to find the value for x. Very good. And so we're going to use this equation. And so this equation tells us x equals to negative y minus 3. And so x is going to be equal to negative what y is. Y is negative 3 minus 3. Okay, we know that a negative and a negative is
A positive.
a positive, so that's going to be positive 3 minus 3. And so we know that x is equal to 0. The answer is 0.
Excuse me, Mr. Isaac. My
Yes,
Wi-Fi
sir.
tried connecting earlier. So it doesn't let me see which is screen sharing. It keeps letting me rejoin and rejoin.
Oh, maybe I'll have to send you the recording then.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so it's gonna be next up. Okay, so last but by no means least, let's fill it out and then plot out the points. So it's gonna be, so like we saw, we had negative 6 and 3, 1 and negative 4, negative 2 and negative 1, negative 3 and 0, and 2 and negative 5. Okay, and so what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually plot them out. Oh, sorry. Some people are already sending them in. Thank you, Miss Nancy. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Lionel. Okay, so let's plot it. So we have -6 and 3. So we know that means that we're gonna have -6 on the x-axis and +3 on the y-axis. Alright, that's the first thing. So -6, 3. So on the x-axis we need to look for -6 and then go up 3 times. So -6 and then go up 3 times. So this will be right here. So this is the point -6, 3. Oh, do we understand that? Do you understand how we got that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Next up, we're gonna have -4 and 1. So let's do this. It's gonna be -4 and 1. So -4 and 1. So it's gonna be -4 and +1. That's us right here. Alright. Next we have -2 and -1. So -2 and -1. So -2 on the x-axis, -1 on the y-axis. And so we notice that we are following some sort of directory, right? Remember, for what I should have said from initially is that a line always has constant slope. A line always have constant slope. So if you start here and then you find that the next point is here, then you know you're doing something right or wrong. Something wrong. Because this point shouldn't be here. It's a line. The slope should remain the same. It's a constant slope. We don't change slope. Now there are functions where we could change slope. Functions like your cubic functions, your quintic functions, your quartic functions, and your quadratic functions. We could change slope with them. Or your sinusoidal functions. You could change slope with them. But you can't change slope with your linear functions. Okay. Alright. And then we have 0 and -3. So 0 and -3, that's going to be, we're at 0. 0 is the origin. Okay. And -3 is going to be, this is -1, -2, and -3. Alright. And then we have 2 and -5. 2 and -5. So this is 2 and this is -5. So +2 on the x-axis, -5 on the y-axis. And we can see that everything is following a nice trajectory. Okay, so now let's draw a line that passes through all these points. And so let's do that. Remember that as you're doing it, please send the photos in. Let me see how they look. Let me see what you're doing. I see a few persons already sent already. That's good. The rest of you, where are you? Please send in the photos. Let me see what you're doing. Okay, so this line cuts through all our points. Alright, and so this is going to be our linear function. And so let's weight it. Let's give it some weight. Alright, so we're gonna label this function. We're gonna use the slope intercept form. We're gonna use this one. So this is gonna be, we're gonna label it y equals to negative x minus 3. We could put the label here. We could put the label here, or we could put the label here. Okay, but we would not put the label here. Let's put it someplace close to the graph. Okay, and so there we have it. We have plotted our linear equation y equals negative x minus 3. Okay, any questions for me?
So
No, sir.
the slope would be what?
The slope is negative 1. Remember, the slope is always the number in front of the x. So the slope here is negative 1.
Excuse me, Mr. Ajay.
Yes, sir.
Can you send me a video of this so I can review it at some point, so at some other time, because I feel like I'm gonna regret. I will forget some of the stuff.
Yeah, I always send a video of each recording, so of each night. So I'll
Thank you.
definitely send it to you. I actually sent um the 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 recording for last night to your sister, because I don't have your number saved. So can you put your name next to your number, Abraham, so I could save your number, so I could send a recording of last night and this night to you.
I
Okay?
thought I already would. I'll try fix that.
Okay, please. Just put your name. Don't just put here. Put your name, so that I could
Okay.
yeah. Alright. So that's our equation and that's our line. Hopefully that makes it clearer for us. Okay? Remember here, what's our slope? What's the slope for this line?
Somehow it's -1.
Negative
You don't,
1.
you don't understand why it's -1, Floyd?
I accept it, but I don't see it.
Well, remember, our slope is always the number in front of the x, remember? So in front of x is the negative sign, and we know that if we do not have a number represented, it's 1, so it's -1. So m here is -1, but we know that -1, we could write that as a fraction. So -1 is -1 over what?
1.
Over 1. And what is our y-intercept?
0.
Our y,
-3.
-3. Very good. So if we had to graph this line using the slope and the y-intercept, how would we do it? So we would first use our y-intercept, -3. Okay. And remember, because we're this is a negative slope, we're going to go down once and then go to the right once. Okay, so down once, to the right once. That's strange, because we start at -3. Down once, to the right once. Something feel off about this. If this is -3, if this is -3, our y-intercept. And we go down once, and then we go to the right once. We should land here. -1. I was -1. Let me see something. Okay, so let's look at -3. So did we do it right? Okay. down. Yeah, our line is correct. We have negative 6, 3, then don't we? Negative 6, 3, negative 4, 1, negative 2, negative 1, 0, negative 3, and 2, negative 5. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see what's happening. I see what's happening. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. All right. Remember that. Okay, I see what's happening. Remember that if we look carefully, this is if we were to try to determine the slope based on the graph, how would we? What a number we would come up to would still be -1. What I mean is, look. Let's look carefully. Remember, what is the slope? Slope is just what? That's rise over run, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we were to consider, let's say we start at -3, right? We start at the point -3. And if we go one time downward, the next time downward, that would be 2, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
we would go one time across. Still wrong. We have a slope of -2. So I feel off about this. Why are we getting? Why does our slope? Why is our slope at -1? And then here when we calculate the slope is -2. This is 1, 2. This is 1. Okay. Let's discard that. Okay, so we know we did it right in terms of the numbers. -6, 3, -4, 1, -2, -1, 0, and -3, and 2 and -5. So that's right. Okay, that's good. Let's see if we change the equation, right? Okay, we send it over. Boom. We divide both sides by. Okay, so let's graph it physically. So let's use Desmos. So there's another way we could graph it too. I mean, you won't be able to graph it using a graphing calculator in your exam, but this is a nice way to check your work. So we have y equals to -x minus 3. And let's do a table. Let's generate a table for this. Okay, good. If we generate a table, we find that, let's go back to our numbers. We find that for 0, it is -3, that's correct. We note that also for -2, it should be -1. Let's see. For -2, it's -1. For -3, it's 3. Let's see. For -3. For -3. For -3. Oh, there's no -3 here. No, that's y. Okay. For -4, it's supposed to be 1. Yeah. For 2, it's -5. Yeah, for 2, it's -5. So we are dealing with the correct line. Okay, so we are dealing with the correct line. It just screams to me that the slope idea isn't working. I'll have to think about that. Why isn't? According to the graph, it seems that our slope is 2 over 1, -2 over 1. But when we look at our equation itself, it's telling us that the slope is -1. Okay, obviously I can see why is that it seems like a dichotomy, like some conundrum. Why is that the case? I'll have to check and see, think about it. Tomorrow I'll give you all the answer. But we do have the right equation and we do have the right graph. Um, and our points are plotted correctly. So this is the line y equals to negative x minus 3, and this is its equation. And we did it just like how we did, and just like how we have it here in our solutions manual. So this is our equation right here. Written this way, we could write it that way, or we could write it in slope-intercept form. So this is how we plot it. All right. Okay, so we don't have enough time to do the rest, but the rest should be straightforward. All we do is, again, we find what y equals, find what x equals, and then plot the points in, okay, and then draw our graph. All right. If you want to try these ones on your own, you can. That's totally up to you. I'm just showing you how they would look in different ways. We definitely don't have time to do all of these.
I saved them for the practice. Wait.
Say it again.
I said to save them three to practice.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Let's save them to practice. Okay. Alright, so that brings us to the end of our math session already. The next thing that we're going to go to is general science. And then we're going to do, health science first and then general science last. So if you're not doing health or general science, you're free to leave. But if you are, then please free to stay. Remember the class resume on tomorrow. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. So please make sure that you're there as well. We'll be doing math and English tomorrow. Oh, please, for those who are leaving, make sure you send the notes for me. Okay, so that leaves us. So all of us here are doing either health or general, I imagine.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a whole lot of us. Still majority. Still a lot of us left. Okay. Okay, so let's begin.
I don't
All right.
mind lurking.
You don't mind
But I
lurking.
still do them bios.
Yeah, it's still a good refresher. With these exams, there's no real cutoff point. Person say, okay, well, I doing BJC, I doing BGCSE. They just along a continuum. You know what I mean? Some BJC topics overlap with BGCSE topics and so on. And so it's just basically along a continuum. Now for biology, definitely certain things in biology you don't see in the BJC.
The
Xylem.
nephron.
The nephron. Yeah, we talked about the nephron. Did you do that nephron thing? The nephron, not the diagram, but the nephron exercise that I sent.
I should have.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, we definitely not gonna see that on the BJC. But so we just go a little deeper than what we normally would do. All right. So today is Tuesday. That's the 18th of January, 2022. The topic is, of course, health science. And the last thing that we did in health science, anyone can remember, what was our main topic? Disease. Yeah, diseases, right? Now we ended off on on a note that saying that, hey, there are three different um, types of diseases. Not three. Um, there are different categories of diseases. It was in three. How much categories of diseases we said that there are
You talk
four.
about
It was four
oh,
different categories of diseases. All right. And the first one that we talked about, or we just basically mentioned, I mean, we talked about it in some sense. That was the type that you get from your parents. What is that type of disease?
hereditary disease.
Diabetes is one of them. But what's the category? What's the name of the category?
Hereditary.
I hear it. Someone is trying to say it.
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Thank you. Hereditary.
Bro, I was trying to stay away for the longest.
Who said it? I can't pick out the voice.
Nixon.
Alright.
Nixon. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
hereditary, right? Good.
You still talking about that one or?
Yeah, we got to talk about it because we didn't really get deep into it, right? So we're gonna be talking about hereditary diseases. Oh, we did, we on examples of it now. So I ended off with telling you all that there are different examples of it. The first example that we're gonna be looking at is sickle cell. Sickle cell anemia. Anyone know anyone who has sickle cell?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do they have it bad or they just have it mildly? It ain't too bad.
Five.
They have it bad.
You have it
What
bad.
is sickle scale? What is sickle cell?
One of my mummy friends, she ended
Okay.
up dying.
Oh, she ended up dying from it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you say Lionel? I could barely hear you. Oh, okay, yeah. Sickle cell is nothing to play with, my friend. It's nothing to play with.
So what is it?
We're gonna explain it. We can explain it right now. But it basically when your red blood cell shaped like a crescent moon. So in general, okay, in general, your red blood cell is supposed to shape like it's supposed to shape like. Let me show you what I mean. Your red blood cell is supposed to shape something like this. Okay. So this is a normal red blood cell. Normal, right? But when your red blood cell is shaped like a crescent moon, right? Um, it's shaped like a sickle, right? So this is sickle cell, okay? Your red blood cell is shaped like a crescent moon or a banana. And so what happens is that not enough. The reason why this is shaped like this is so that oxygen could be here, okay? So it could carry oxygen, right? Now when it's shaped like this, you're not gonna get enough oxygen, okay? And the the cells are gonna get clogged up, you know what I mean? And so that's gonna cause a whole lot of problems, okay?
And doesn't that mostly happen in like the nephron or the kidney?
In the kidney, no, not mostly happen in the kidney, no.
No, because I mean the because you said the sickle cell already don't have a lot of oxygen, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the nephron, that's an oxygen deprived area.
Why you say the nephron is an oxygen deprived area?
But just because it is, you know.
No, the nephron is inside the kidneys, and so I don't see no reason why it's necessarily oxygen deprived. Um,
So it could retain the salt, the sodium.
no, they don't have to be. It don't have to be oxygen deprived to keep the sodium. Um, when we talk
Well,
about sick,
not really deprived, but it has like lower than usual oxygen levels. Then.
okay.
So mostly
But
when you have that sickle cell, your kidney is like a main target for that cause problems.
I think that the oxygen levels is low overall, and with a person with sickle cell, because remember it's the entire blood, right? So not just one localized area. Um,
It is very low. That's why they have to do checkups every month to make sure they're okay.
yeah.
Like it's so easy for them to get strokes and seizures and different things.
Yeah, it is easy for them. Um, it is easy for them, and with those people, we have to sympathize with them and pray for them, because I know someone who has it, and I mean, in and out of hospital, in and out of hospital, in and out of hospital.
But isn't it like majority African descendants that get it?
Um, I heard something like that, something to that effect.
Yeah, they said
Um,
because it's the defensive mechanism against malaria.
oh yes, 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 I remember that. I remember that. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Isaac, what stage that person have? Because
Say
I
it
know
again.
there's
What
what stage?
stage?
Yeah, because there's stages to sickle cell.
Um, all I know, they have it. They have it. They have it terrible. I don't know what stage they have it, but they have it. They have it terrible, my friend. They have it bad. They have it really bad. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's really describe it. So this is, in words, this is the, and for those who are here, please take good, diligent notes. And once you finish, send the notes to me so I can know that you're following along. All right. So, so sickle cell anemia. This is the abnormal shape of the red blood cell that inhibit their ability. Now, when we say inhibit, what do we mean?
Is it like another word for
Like
like?
interrupt.
Interrupt,
In
right? Or prevent, right? Or cause to slow down, or cause to malfunction. So because they're abnormally shaped, right? They are not going to function like how they should, right? And that's why when we talk about anatomy and physiology, we know that anatomy basically talks about how something shapes and how something looks, and physiology tells us how it functions. But the anatomy of something is directly relation the anatomy of something is directly in correlation to its physiology. That means that what I'm trying to say is that how something shapes or how something forms tells you how it will work, right? So the shape of the heart and the form of the heart gives you an indication of the function of the heart, right? The left ventricle is has a lot of muscles because it needs to pump, that oxygenated blood throughout the body. So of course it's going to be stronger, it's going to be more thicker, right? It's the same thing with the red blood cell. Its shape tells you its function, and shape and function go together. So if we have, let's look at our ears. Our ears have a whole hole in it, right? We have a hole. We have outer ear that is shaped in such a way such as to capture the sound, right? And then tunnel that sound through the middle ear, right? So the shape of our ear tells us or is connected to the function of our ear. It's the same thing when it comes to the red blood cell. The shape of the red blood cell tells you its function, and the red blood cells is shaped in such a way so that it could hold oxygen. In fact, the red blood cells do not have any nucleus, right? And so they hold oxygen. And um, when we have a sickle cell shape, it's going to inhibit. If we have an abnormal shape, then we're gonna have abnormal function. That's just how it works. Proper shape, proper function. Abnormal shape, abnormal function. So this is a normal shape of red blood cells. Sorry, that inhibit. That inhibits. their ability to move easily. Someone is asking to join. Sorry about that, Nathan. But glad that you're able to join us. So this is the abnormal shape of the red
Excuse
blood
me.
cells. Yes, sir.
You can you say what hereditary disease is again? Because I didn't hear you clearly the first time, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Then,
Hereditary disease just means that it comes from your parents or comes from your ancestors.
okay.
Yeah, so it passed from generation to generation. So this is the abnormal shape of the red blood cells that inhibits their ability to move easily through the capillaries. And the capillaries is, of course, the smallest blood vessels. So it inhibits their abilities to move through the capillaries because they're shaped so weird. So they get clogged in the blood vessels, right? And so not only do they get clogged because they are not able to move through the capillaries, so that could cause pain, right? But it also inhibits their ability to bond and to carry oxygen and to bond with and carry oxygen. One thing to know about sickle cell is that it's very painful. If you know anyone who has sickle cell, they'd be under excruciating pain if they have it bad.
Sorry.
Was you gonna say something like Nina?
No, I was going to say something about it doing with your oxygen.
Yes, definitely. Now the thing is, it's very painful, so they'll be under medication to wear off the pain, right? Strong medication for pain. And also they need blood thinners. Okay, so this is a very painful disorder and is usually treated with blood thinners that open up the blood vessels wider to help red blood cells do what? What you think gonna help the red blood cells do? Say it again. So if we're gonna say it again. Yeah, move through. Very good. Move
Excuse me.
more easily. Yes, sir.
You said that blood thinner is help sickle cell, right?
Yes.
Or the pain relief.
Not the
But
pain.
like,
I mean, it does help with the pain. But what the blood thinners is gonna do, it's gonna open the blood vessels wider so that the red blood cells can move through easy. Okay.
oh, because it's called blood thinner, so I like automatically assumes like that it like makes it smaller, and I was confused because like, wouldn't that be more dangerous?
No, 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 no. Not thinner in that sense. Not thinner in size, but thinner in concentration, more like that, right? But not thinner in size.
Concentration.
Yeah. So what it's gonna do is gonna cause those blood vessels to. Okay, probably the best thing I could do is give you a picture, right? Let's see if we have a good image here. So sickle cell versus normal cell. So See if you have a good. Okay, this is very good right now. Okay, so this is a good example. I like this one too. You see what happens here, right? You see, notice it's clogged, right?
Oh, so that's being clogged. So,
Yeah.
oh,
So we need the blood
so,
vessels to widen. You see what I'm saying? So
hmm.
because it's clogged, what you're gonna do, you're gonna get a blood thinner, and the blood thinner is gonna make the blood vessels wider. Okay? It's gonna expand.
So when you mean like concentration, you mean like it's more concentrated inside of it, but not outside.
Like, I don't think concentration is the best word to use. Basically just think of it as opening, think of the blood vessels as opening up wider to allow more space so that the clogged stuff could move through. If you understand what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
understand that as well,
Let me
but
see the tea.
the name still confuses me a little bit. But it's
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Alchemy.
So like how their red blood cells look like a crescent or whatever. So like none of them would look normal.
You have some normal. Like in this, you have some, I don't think it's all, right? It's just that you have a whole lot that looks like that, right?
So it blocks like the normal set out since it clog and all that.
Yeah, it's clogging. So as you can see clearly in this picture, we have some that's normal and some that's not, and everything is gonna get clogged, both the abnormal one and the normal ones, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if we have another image. See. Mm, okay. So these are good images of us of the sickle cell. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back. So, all right. So let's move on. So that's one example of a hereditary disease. It's 8:16. That's all. Wow.
Oh, excuse me,
Wow.
Mr. D. Can you go after me, please?
No problem. Wow. This is going good. I mean, moving fast. That's good.
Real.
Um.
But the thing, it was 806, right? And then like we go, I know we do a lot. And only 09.
That's what I'm saying.
What is a
That's
lot?
fine.
This is not a lot. Not
Say it
yet.
again,
But
Naila.
like it can't be only 816.
Yeah. I felt it. I thought it was longer than that. We usually don't have enough time for health science, so I'm like, okay, we covering a lot tonight relative to. So Down syndrome. Okay, so Down syndrome. Anyone have any idea what we mean by Down syndrome? What is that?
Uh, when they have when you don't have as much, when not developed properly.
Okay, I can accept that. Can someone else help them?
Wait, I'm gonna assume that it
Oh,
like into the brain. So like maybe like their brain didn't develop well as they were fetus.
Okay, all right. I
some
can
parts
accept.
of the body didn't develop.
Okay, all right. Anyone else?
From what I remember, I think that's when you're born with either extra chromosome or one less chromosome or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, you're right.
I know which one it is. I know if it's
It
one
is.
more.
It is more. One more. One more. So you're born with one
37,
more.
I think.
Say it again.
37, I think.
Not 37. Close. 47. All right. So you are. You are. But I wanted more like symptoms, not getting deep into it, but like
Oh,
give me an example. Yeah,
I
I
mean
wanted
it's
more
more
like.
like they psychologically not stable.
Yeah. Okay. How does their
Like
face look?
they droopy.
Droopy. Yeah. Droopy.
Deformed.
All right. So so Down syndrome is they are they look sleepy. They look their face look it's saggy, you know. They
Their
look
head
almost
shape is
sad.
different.
Their head shape is different, yeah. They their toes, their big toes is widely spaced, right? Um, they could also have broad face, slanty eyes, short nose. Um, they could also have some sort of mental retardation going on as well. Um, they can also have um, they are
Autism.
yeah, some like along that lines too. Um, they can also have abnormal pelvis. Okay, so their pelvis could be abnormally shaped. Um, and so they are basically they have some physical features. Best thing for me to do is just to show you a picture so you could actually see. Anyone know
Like
anyone with Down syndrome?
their growth, like say for instance, an average 5 year old, they
Yes.
probably look maybe like they're 3.
Yeah, yeah, very good. So this is a person who has Down syndrome. I prefer them. I'm so sorry, but some just Google images is be um let's do diagram. I prefer a diagram. A diagram really gonna show you. Okay, this is a perfect diagram. Good, good. This is a good one. This one right now. So this tells you, the different abnormalities that they could have. Enlarged colon, big toes spaced wisely, abnormal pelvis, like we was talking about. Let me let's bring this down and let's open this wide.
But people don't gotta born with that, right?
It's a hereditary disease, so they get it from
Yeah, but
parent.
I mean, like the parents would know before the child born, like, hey, your child have the extra chromosome.
They wouldn't. They could know. Once they do the scan, they would tell them, hey, some this thing taking too long, or they would know. They would have an idea. You know what increases Down syndrome. Is one of the major things that could increase a child getting Down syndrome.
What?
No, sir.
No. Oh yeah, I
No
was
one
gonna
knows.
ask Mr. Isaac.
Yeah.
Depression.
If a normal, okay, I'm not trying to sound offended
Oh,
again.
oh, oh! I know.
If a normal, what's the chance of a child having like Down syndrome if they're dating a person who doesn't have Down syndrome? Like, what's the percent of that?
What's the percentage of?
A person who does not have Down syndrome having a child with the person who has Down syndrome.
I don't know the stats on that. I could find out, but um, I know that what increases Down syndrome in a child is
I
if
know too.
anyone. Go ahead, Floyd.
At least I may know some part of it. I
Uh huh.
know that incest plays a big role in that.
Okay, I wasn't thinking incest. I was thinking alcohol. All right. So the more drinks you have,
Smoking as well, right?
okay, smoking as well. Yes. The more drinks and
What about depression?
depression. I'm not sure about
Depression.
depression.
Oh, geez.
I'm not sure about depression,
I mean,
but
doesn't like depression have a toll
depression should
on?
have a fact. But I don't know if depression causes or leads to Down syndrome. I know that,
Wait, by the way,
but
I want to ask, what major effect does depression have on the body? I know like it's supposed to have some major effect on like your internal organs or something along the lines of that.
it depends on how deep the depression is. But depression is so multifaceted. Depression could be temporary or it could be a chronic state of depression. But depression ain't our study for the night, and I don't want to make it our study. All right.
I
Okay.
know people get like schizophrenic.
Yeah, schizophrenic and bipolar and stuff like that. Okay, so this is a disorder. in which there are 47 chromosomes in the nucleus. Okay, instead of 46 in the regular human nucleus. So they have one extra. Persons suffering from this disorder have distinctive, that means you could see it, distinctive facial features.
Mr. Petit.
Uh-huh.
So can a person they have to get it from baby, or they get it from baby, or as they grow they can also
I think you're born with it
Yeah,
because
you got to be
it's
born with it.
something down with in your genes, right?
So
So you
you
can't
can't
develop that. No, you can't get it, as you grow. Like you can't. No, this is something genetic, so you have to get it from birth, right? So a person suffering from this disorder have distinctive facial features and do not develop to complete mental status. Okay, so there's something still off um with their mental abilities, right? And unless we have a miracle,
autism.
similar to that, yeah. But autism is not something you're born with, right? Autism is something that you could have due to due to something traumatic happening to you, right?
No, I thought you had to be born with that to have it.
No, you don't have to be born with autism. No. Some people become autistic after taking um shots, after taking like people become
Excuse me.
autistic.
You
Yes.
say traumatic, like physically or mentally?
Um, it could be both, right? So if you get in a traumatic accident, part of your brain damage. If you take a medication or if you take a shot that impairs your mental capabilities, you could become autistic like that. So it don't have to be down to a genetic level, but Down syndrome is something hereditary, something that's you have to be born with. Okay.
So can autism also be inherited or no?
It can be inherited too. It could be inherited too,
Okay.
but it don't have to be. It's 8:27. The next one before we bring it to a close is color blindness. This is another genetic one, another hereditary one. Color blindness. So these are persons who lack color receptors. Now, what are the color receptors? What is their name? Inside your eye, you
I know one is coons.
have well, you have two. You have rods and cones, but the rods is for black and white, and the cones is for the color. All right, in the retina. The retina is that sensory part of your eye that's gonna send the messages to your brain. So these are persons who lack the color receptors, cones in the retina of their eye. So that they see only in shades of gray, black, and white. I had a teacher like that. He was colorblind. You know, people who are colorblind. I think we have time to do the last one so that we wouldn't have to be doing hereditary disease next time. So the last one we're going to talk about is homophilia. Anyone familiar with this one? Homophilia.
Does that have something to do with iron?
No, not iron.
Sexuality.
No. I know it sounds like that, but no. That's when this is when you the person.
When your blood doesn't clot properly.
Exactly. So this person better not get a cut, right? Um, Otherwise they'll bleed to death. So it's when you have a problem with clotting your blood. I mean, yeah, clotting your blood. Like when you get a cut and your body could automatically stop the bleeding and close up the wound.
So that's a platelet
They can't do that.
No, they can't do it. No.
Oh, so even the smallest cut can kill them.
So like shots. What would that?
What do you mean shots? You mean like them getting
Like
shots?
they get like
Wouldn't
Say it
they
again.
automatically be dead
No, they
unless
wouldn't
they like.
automatically be dead. No. It happens
No, I
every
mean
time.
no. Like they eventually they'll die. Like no matter what.
Yeah,
I mean
eventually
unless they
they'll
cover it
die
up.
unless they tie it up and quickly go to the doctor. All right. So this is a disorder in which the blood does not clot to close wounds, and the person can bleed to death if not treated. These persons are given, now they wouldn't be given blood thinners, right? But they're given blood thickeners. And the reason why you want to do that is so that the blood wouldn't readily flow. It's kind of like honey, right? It's kind of like honey versus Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like, okay, if
Honey
you
is
have,
thick and the Kool-Aid is liquefied.
yeah, like honey, okay, like let's say if you have a hole in your bag, right? And you have honey in your
Yes.
bag. Would the honey leak out as readily as the Kool-Aid?
Say that again,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Like
Una
if
nega,
you
yo
have
sé.
if you have
You see that cat?
alright, someone
Hold on,
is
hold on.
someone
Stop touching
someone
me. Why
mic
you
is
speaking to me?
someone mic is on. Hold on.
Who?
Alright.
Alright, bro. I don't care.
Oh, that's Antonio Jennings. He didn't know. Alright. Okay. Please make sure that your mic is muted because it's embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah, so like let's look at honey consistency. Honey is more thicker, right? And so it's harder to flow. Yeah.
So like basically the blood thickeners they like make the blood more like harder to flow through the blood vessels.
Exactly.
Is
So
that what
that
I'm
they
saying?
wouldn't bleed out. Okay.
Okay,
As opposed to
I know we might be going back to the same topic, but I also want to know, like, what if I bite my finger? Could a cut like that like kill me with hemophilia?
if you bite,
Like, if I bite my finger, would a cut like that kill me?
if it's a cut, you would
Yeah,
bleed to
like
death.
no,
If
like I
yeah.
just bite the tip of my finger, not like bite it off, like bite the tip.
Yeah. That could
Oh
kill you.
wow, that's
Yeah, that
a
could
lot.
kill you. But I mean, if it's not treated though, I mean, of course they ain't gonna die immediately, right?
Okay,
But
gotcha.
they have to go to the doctor, make sure they wound it properly, cover it, because their body don't do it naturally. It's a problem with that. So they need help with clotting. Okay. All right. So that's it for health science for today.
So that means they have a disorder with their platelets then.
Yeah, something with the um it's F word, fibrin.
Mr. Petit,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
go back to Down syndrome, please?
Go back to Down syndrome. Yeah, it's something with their platelets. Because platelets does the blood clotting. So
Platelets help with blood clotting.
yeah, platelets have
Is
blood clotting.
yeah, I was just
You
asking
didn't
because
know.
I
That's true. That's a fact. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of health. We're gonna move on to general science and close it off. All right. So the last thing we did in all right, no problem, Eltronic. The last thing we did in general science, we was talking about the different um we was talking about the different tools. So we said that what is used, let me just a quick pop quiz. What is used to measure length or distance? What did we say? We used to measure length or distance.
A measuring tape.
A measuring tape or a
Ruler.
ruler. Very good. What is the unit of measurement?
Meters.
Meters. Very good. Or centimeters. Or kilometers. If we want to measure volume or capacity, what is the instrument that we use?
A cylinder.
A measuring cylinder. Very good. What is the units for that?
Liters. Millimeters.
Very good. Or decimeter cube. What do we use if we want to measure temperature?
Thermometer.
Thermometer. Very good. What's the units of measurement?
Uh,
Celsius,
Or
Fahrenheit.
Celsius or
Fahrenheit,
Fahrenheit.
or
Very good.
Kelvin.
Or Kelvin. If we want to measure weight or mass, what is our measurement instrument?
Grams.
No, the measurement instrument.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Say it again.
Scale,
A scale, or I heard it. A triple beam balance, or the regular balance. And what is
excuse
our
me.
weight? Go ahead.
Uh, do we have like math every day?
Yeah, math every day.
Okay, so every subject like every other day.
And then for time, what do we use to measure time?
seconds.
Okay.
What do we use to measure
Oh,
time?
it's like a stopwatch.
Clock.
A clock. Very good. A clock or stopwatch, all those things. Right? Okay, so um, and what is the unit of measurement for time?
Seconds.
Seconds. Okay.
Minutes.
Minutes,
Hours.
hours. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's begin now and start talking about um. Let's just talk about the natural sciences, and we're gonna break this down really nicely for us. The natural sciences. Okay. So branches of science. So you know that science have different branches, and we're gonna line them out, lay them out clearly. I don't know how much we can get to do today, but we can see. So science, in its broadest sense, we could divide it into two main categories, right? Anyone know the two main categories of science?
Anatomy and physiology.
No, even broader than that.
Chemistry.
Biology.
No,
Chemistry.
no, two. It's even broader than that.
Uh,
Anatomy? No.
Biology.
No,
Like, is there anything involving atoms?
no. It's simple. Y'all going really micro. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than. It's
No,
bigger
no.
than that. It's two main
Uh,
categories of
uh,
science.
Health science and general science.
health in general. That's the only one I could think.
But that's
Gotta get no
exactly
more brother.
Can't get no broader than that.
that's
Oh wow.
exactly what I said.
Botany.
Social science,
Social
social
science,
studies.
Typical science.
and natural science. Those are your two sciences, okay?
Oh
In
shit,
its
gotta
broader
see.
sense. Alright? Okay, so social science deals with what?
Religious.
Yeah. That deals with your social life. Alright?
Yeah.
So that is the social life of people, um, including stuff like their geography, okay, their history, their politics, um, their economics, and their religion. Okay, so when we talk about social science, we're talking about history, geography, economics. Those are social sciences. Okay, then we have natural science. Now, natural science, of course, deals with what?
I guess
The
natural
universe.
things.
Yeah, all the stuff that you always start telling me about: anatomy, physiology, chemistry, all the stuff you
Biology.
was biology, all them stuff you was talking about. So natural science deals with the physical
Uh, physical
and
pro-
biological,
aspects, I guess.
yeah, world.
What about theoretical?
Yeah, that's physics, theoretical physics, and all them good stuff.
By the way, Mr. Isaac, there's also some on my mind. Why do people call like outer space? When people like talk about space, they say outer space. Isn't like outer space like beyond the universe or multiverse or something like that?
I don't really want to get
Like,
carried away, Ashma. I really don't want to get carried away. Let's focus on questions directly related here. But to answer your question only tangentially and briefly, um, outer space is just a term used to describe stuff outside of Earth, right? So, the sun, the solar system. Um,
okay, so they call it outer space because like we don't know anything like farther than the universe or multiverse.
I don't know exactly why the term outer space is used, but the idea is that it's outside of what we know and what we could tangibly feel. I guess that's why.
Okay, I understand.
Killer of the movies.
I know, right? Deshaun. But anyway, it's. I mean, hey, the science, so you gotta be curious. Natural science deals with the physical and biological world around us. Um, so this is the category to which we refer when we discuss science in this course. So when you hear me say science, I'm not talking about the social sciences, even though that is a type of science as well. But when I say science in this course, I'm talking about the natural sciences, all right? And so our topic is natural sciences for today. And as we continue, right, we will be talking about natural sciences. And so when I say science in this class, I'm really specifically talking about the natural sciences as a general rule. Okay. Now the natural sciences, we could break that down into, 4 categories, and let's see how best we can, really make up this, this thing here. Okay, let's see how good we could do this. All right, so way to go for our design. Let's see. So let's see how best we could make sure everything fits in. So we're gonna break it up. So natural sciences, we can break it up into 4 categories. So natural science.
Mr. Petit, I was in there writing.
Who's that speaking?
Sorry.
Zaria. Sorry, Zaria. Good. So natural science. All right. So from natural science, we're gonna draw 4 arrows. All right. So let's do one here at the bottom. See how wide we can get this. Okay. Oh, I see the problem. Give me one moment. Let me do this regularly here. Ew. Give me one moment. Alright, let's keep it this way. Alright, I see the shoe. So we gotta move this over a bit. What I need to do is I need to get the full space of this. If I don't, I'll be in for any problems. Alright. You still need to see it, Zaria? Or are we good?
I good.
Okay, good. So this is just all formatting here. I'm just trying to format it such that we can get everything in. Alright, so natural science. So shape, let's darken it out in. Shape outline, let's weight it. Okay, good. So draw this diagram for me as I construct it as well. We need one more thing. We need to draw a line that extends here and here. Okay, good. And so, like we said, there are 4 of those branches. This first one here is we're gonna break this part into. We're gonna call this main part right here. That's gonna be biology. So natural science, one major part of natural science is biology. So this right here is biology. So we're gonna put biology in here. So draw this out with your ruler and everything. So biology we're gonna put here. Now, what is biology?
Study of life.
The study of life. If we want to be a little bit more specific, we could just say that biology, let's center it. So biology is the study of living what?
Organisms.
Living organisms. So that's biology. So We have 4 different parts. The first part that we talk about is biology, the study of living organisms. Next up, we have physical sciences. So next up, we have our physical sciences. So physical sciences. This is the science of the physical world. So physical sciences. The science of the physical world. Next up, we have our third one. It's only 3. I said 4, but it's only 3. The third one is, so we have physical sciences, and then we have earth sciences. So biology is a category of natural science, physical sciences, and then finally we have earth sciences.
So do all the sciences that you just mentioned have their own branches?
If they are, yeah, they have their own. And we're going to break it down again further. So the study of the Earth's structure. Okay. All right, so let's break biology down. We could break biology down into 2 other branches. Anyone can tell me?
Ecology.
Say it again.
Ecology.
Ecology. Yes, we can. But something more basic. We ain't going that deep. What's the study of plants?
Botany.
Botany. So we can break it down into 2 parts. Botany, which is the study of plants. Excuse me. And then we have another branch, which is what is the study of animals?
Zoology.
Zoology.
Zoology,
Right.
very good. Let's use yellow instead. So zoology is going to be the study of animals. And that makes sense because biology is the study of living things. And when we think about living things, we could immediately think of plants and animals. The study of plants is zoology, is botany, and the study of animals is zoology. Then we go to our physical sciences. We could break our physical sciences into two parts. Anyone can think of what should be in our physical sciences?
Physics.
Physics, yes.
And I get chemistry.
Yes, sir. Physics and chem.
So where maths inside this?
Um,
Because I think maths is a science too, right?
Maths is a science. Just that this is just a framework to work by. In this framework, they didn't include maths, right? But maths could work. We could extend the framework and maybe put theoretical sciences here, to include math. But math could fit. And obviously, this is not a exhaustive list, but just giving you some framework to work by, some sort of categorization for you. All right. Let's use purple. So chemistry is the study of, not the study of plants, sorry. We need to be a little bit more, we need a little more space for chemistry. No, we need to go long. All right. So chemistry is the study of the structure and behavior of matter. Or we can say of substances, right? So that's chemistry. Next we have physics, which comes under our physical science. And physics is going to be the study of matter, energy, and how they interrelate. Right, next we have the earth sciences. The earth sciences is the one that is the longest. There we're gonna include stuff like anyone have any idea with our earth sciences?
Geography.
Geography, definitely. But before geography, I'm gonna first talk about astronomy. So astronomy, this is the study of celestial objects. That's astronomy. Color we could use there, maybe. Feel like we running out of colors.
Running out of time too.
we definitely gotta extend a little more time to finish this. So please bear with me until we only have like 3 more. I don't want to have to wait till next week Tuesday to do this. So let's just finish it one time. Seeing that we are already here, let's just finish the chart. Alright, so astronomy, and then we have geology. This is the study of the Earth's crust. So the study of the Earth's crust. Or I could say the study of the crust of the Earth and other planets. So that's geology. 2 more and then we'll go.
I thought geology more on the chemistry though.
Geology is just a cute word for geography, you know. I mean, certainly that's the thing. Even though we try to separate them, you know, they're really intertwined because you can't really understand biology without chemistry. Because a part of the study of animals is a lot of chemistry. You can't really understand botany and zoology without physics. And geology, you can't really understand that unless you have chemistry and physics. So they're interlocked and they're interwoven with one another. Even though we try to separate them, there's no true separation. Okay?
Can't understand that without math.
And you can't understand that without math. Right? So all of them are overlapping. Alright? All of them help one another. But when we talk about a certain study, we're just talking about, to be honest, we're just talking about the emphasis, right? What are we trying to emphasize? Right? So here in zoology, we would talk about some chemistry because chemistry is important in it, but we wouldn't emphasize chemistry like that. Like the chemistry of the stuff wouldn't be the major focus. We just really would study the structure of the plants. We study the structure of the animals, what makes them work and stuff like that. But when we get to chemistry, you know, physics wouldn't be the major emphasis, although some physics is in chemistry too. So it's just like when we introduce these topics, it's just, you know, what is the major push, the major emphasis that we're looking at. All right, so next up is one that is very important to each and every one of us, especially for us living in the Bahamas. And that is, anyone could guess? Meteorology.
I forget that word even exists.
For real? Yeah, that's why we need Basildine. All right.
The meteorologist.
Meteorology, the study of the climate and weather. All right. And last but by no means least, we have another one, which start with O.
Yeah, I can't think of my only on food right now.
Food at this late hour. Something about the ocean, yeah.
I'll take you. Nope, that's not a good one.
Oceanology.
Ah, very good. Oceanography.
Oceanography. That was the last one I could have expected.
Yeah, oceanography.
I was expecting something more complex.
Hey, you
Okay.
making these up as you go.
No, I'm making them up.
It
I'm not.
It
sounds
sounds
like
like you're
like
just adding
unrealistic
politics.
oceanology. It don't sound realistic. They make it
Yeah.
sound so complex for the other ones, but they just didn't do anything for this
They
one.
do that from oceanography. Yeah, just study of the oceans. All right, none too deep about that. Okay, so I would really like to see our lovely diagrams. All right, zoom out. So this is what we spent the last several minutes trying to construct. I really want a good snapshot of it. Okay, there we go. This is our big picture of our natural sciences, right? Our natural sciences can be divided into three main categories: biology, physical sciences, and earth sciences. We could take biology and break it up into botany and zoology. And our physical sciences, we can break that up into chemistry and physics. Then our earth sciences, we can break it up into astronomy, geology, meteorology, and oceanography. And so what I want you to do, because someone asked me, why don't you give us any homework? Why don't you give us any homework? Um, well, there's the
Who
homework.
asked that?
For real, can anybody
I'm
remember?
not, I'm not going to, I'm not gonna say the name. But I want you to list um,
Why?
10 jobs, right? Or fields, jobs or fields related to science. Okay, 10
So you want
jobs
me?
of.
Can I text this to you?
Yeah, type it, text it to me right on my right into my WhatsApp. List 10 jobs or fields related to science. Okay. All right. So, any questions before I go?
I've been in the app for
No,
a
sir.
while, but how do like people get ash on their skin?
Oh, come on. That ain't related. That
I know,
asthma,
but
please.
like it's somebody been meaning to ask for a while. I really want to ask. That's why I wanted to
Asthma.
wait till like class was about to be
Class
like
ain't over
finished.
yet. Class ain't over yet. Message me and ask me that privately. Anyone else?
Okay.
Anyone else? Something related to abuse
Mr.
doing.
P,
Yes, sir.
how much questions you think there's have on like a BJC paper?
BJC paper. Well, the first paper is 40 past 40 multiple choice questions. Um, and then the second paper is your structured paper two, structured questions. And so they usually ask you several structured questions. Um, um, these type of questions about biology, botany, they usually come in multiple choice. So they would say, in fact, let me pull up one for y'all. Um, this is going to be under, okay. Um, anyway, I'm not gonna bother finding that question right now. But there's a question that came and they asked,
Mr. Petit.
yes, ma'am.
And this who was the last I list 10 jobs related to science?
Yeah, 10 jobs related to science. Jobs or fields related to science. So, yeah, I saw a question where they asked, what is the study of plants? And they had the options biology, zoology, archaeology, and botany there. So you had to know that botany was the study of plants.
I ain't saw that question.
Yeah, it came on a past paper. So they usually
2018.
ask they usually ask these questions on multiple choice type stuff. All right.
Could you zoom on the table?
Can I zoom in on the table? If I zoom in on the table, let's see. All right. That's the best I could do. If I zoom out, it'll be like that. Let me see something. Let's move on. Let's move that out the way. Okay. All right. this is the best I could do right now. All right.
Mr. Petit, I know it's a dumb question, right? But what they mean by the physics of the world by physical sciences?
Say it again.
I say I know it's a dumb question, right? But what they mean by on science, on physical science, what they mean the study of science of the world.
Oh, physical world, not physics world. Thank you. The
No,
science
but
of the
I
physics.
actually mean what they mean by that.
Like the physical world, like the world that you could touch, the world that you could, the world that you could feel, right? See and touch, physical, right? That's what they mean. Like let me give you a prime example. Diamond, right? Diamond, you could see it, right? You could touch
It's a
it.
mineral,
Um,
and you can hear it.
So diamond would be a part of the physical world. In fact, diamond is actually made up of one element. Anyone know what that element
Carbon.
is?
Carbon dioxide.
Not carbon dioxide, just carbon.
Just carbon.
Just
That's what it
carbon.
means.
You way too fast for it.
Yeah. And there's another thing that's made up of entirely one element. It's called graphite. What element is graphite made entirely of?
I just read that today, but I forget.
Graphite would be used for our leads and our pencils.
Just
I feel like I forget at least things I forget, but what to see.
I don't know.
It's the
I
same
honestly
element,
don't know.
carbon. It's just different. It's just the structure arranged differently. So for diamonds, the structure is arranged differently, and then for graphite, the structure is arranged differently. But both are carbon.
The diamond arranged in like four row of carbon, right?
I can't remember exactly,
And then the
but it's a
graphite arranged
lattice.
in three.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah, you're
Isaac,
right. Yes, sir.
is lead flammable?
No, that is not flammable as far as I can tell.
Because like
Anyway,
people would say,
anyway, Abraham, that's enough questions for the night. Everyone
okay.
else, everyone
But
else,
can
have a
you at least
wonderful.
send me the video of this
I
class?
will, I will, I will.
Me
So
too, please.
I need the video too.
Me too, me too.
Yeah, definitely. At any rate,
Now you sent to all of us one time if we're gonna ask for this.
no, I send them every day, so it's no problem. All right. With that being said, have a wonderful night. Sorry for going over time, but I'll see you on tomorrow, God's will.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night.
It's
Please
okay,
send in
good
the notes,
night.
please. Please send in the notes. Please send in the notes for me.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Kennedy.